Yay, this is Sammy Loco podcast number 117. I'm your host, Sammy Loco. I'm here with, go introduce yourself.
What's up? It's your boy Reezy Baby. What's going on?
And we're going to start it off by just introducing everybody, where you from, and etc.
I said, yo, it's your boy Reezy Baby, man. I'm out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Been there my whole damn life, man. I moved around a lot, but I still, that's still home for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still consider that place home. My mama still stay down there. My family still stay down there. So, it's just that's always gonna be home for me, born and raised. So, yeah, that's my place, man.
So one question about Louisiana is, a lot of people down there have like of course the accent, but a lot of people don't know about like the rap scene there and how everything goes down there. Can you give us a pretty much a picture of how everything is down there?
It's 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 kind of hard to like describe, but the rap scene down there, it's based around a lot of violence, and it's based around like a lot of stuff that people definitely do in the streets. Baton Rouge is definitely not a safe place. It's definitely not one of the places that you can take lightly. People die every day down there. I lost partners down there. I lost family members, and it's just people make their music. Young upcoming artists down there. They make their music based off it, and
Mm,
it's like when you are put in a certain environment, that's all you really know.
mm.
That's all you really know. You know the violence, the killing, the robbing, the survive, and that's what they base their music off of. The style, I call it, like just that Louisiana style. That's what a lot. That's basically the default right there, like on how everybody gets they start, and then you just gradually develop your own style to how you want to make your own music. That's why, like when a lot of Louisiana artists, when they say like, even me personally, like even when you say like, yeah, I'm from Louisiana, and they be like, oh, you rap like Boosie, or you rap like Youngboy, or you rap like Webby, because it's all like the same flow, the same concept. Like the only thing to me that's different is the voice behind it, but it's still the same, the same flow. It's still the same lyrics, it's still the same everything. But it's 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 the same, dog. It's the same. That's all I can really tell you about it.
So was you there when Katrina hit?
Yeah, man. I was definitely there.
Can you can you give everybody like a description besides what we seen on TV, something different like through your lens that you seen that you had to deal with personally down there?
So it was just like, obviously Katrina hit New Orleans like heavy. It hit them the hardest. My city, which like I said, I was born from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We got hit. They put us under a curfew. We couldn't be out after a certain time. We
Wow.
lost power. Like my moms and my pops, they lost power for like a hot minute. We didn't know like how we was gonna make it. It was just like, man, like we ain't got no power. The food. We're gonna have to toss this food. Like I just remember, like from what I can remember, like, thank God a tree never fell on my mama house or nothing like that. But I remember, like, I went through like 4, 5 boxes of Pop Tarts.
Wow.
But that was like 4, 5 boxes of Pop Tarts. Like, I'm like, man, I'm hungry. I'm about to go pop another Pop Tart. And it was just like, you never knew when the lights would come back on. And then, I remember seeing my pops like pacing back and forth because crime was starting to go up a lot because
Mm.
people, going crazy trying to find supplies and stuff like that. But it was definitely like a devastating time that really like put people like in perspective, like, man, you can't take nothing lightly.
Mm.
Even though like we in a city, we in a state, an environment where like, okay, people might be like, hey, it's another hurricane coming, we're gonna be like, okay. But when Katrina hit, it was different. It was different. Like it tore up New Orleans, and it partially tore up, Baton Rouge. And a lot of people were seeking refuge. A lot of people, lost power. A lot of people lost their homes. And so, like I say, man, I can say thank God that my family didn't lose nothing like that.
Mm. How does that shape you for like how you are today?
Like I said, it really makes me like, you know, before like I did, sometimes I still got that habit, taking stuff lightly. You might have something today, but it's gone tomorrow. Like you might have a nice car in your driveway. You might have a nice house that you just bought. You might have a nice bike and it's gone.
Mm.
Recently, like a couple years ago, Baton Rouge flooded. My city flooded. Like nobody in Baton Rouge never, thought like my city would flood, and it wound up flooding. Like my mom and them lost their house. They had to get people to like help fix the house back up and stuff like that. And it's just like when you see like natural disasters, on the news and stuff like that, you be like, man, like I feel bad for them people. But it's like you feel bad. But when it happened to you, then you really know, like, man, this is crazy. Like to walk in my mama's house and it's water everywhere. To walk in my old bedroom, like I had like pictures there, I had like memories there, and it's flooded. It's
Mm.
gone. So to see that kind of stuff, that's just like it's I don't know the best way to describe it. It's just an experience. Like man, like you can't take this stuff for granted. And like I said, I'm glad that we could have fixed up the house and we could have got it all fixed up together from both incidents, and we could have got the stuff taken care of instead of them losing the house all together.
Mm.
So that makes it like we just gotta thank God for that.
So I'm going to switch gears. How about what inspires you to make music, or what inspired you to start making music?
So music like became like really like therapeutic for me. Like I went through like a situation, uh, and I went through like a tough time in my life. And so doing music actually helped me, it actually helped me calm myself down and release the stresses that I had. So a lot of times when I make tracks, you know, it's my way of like letting it out, like letting what I'm dealing with, letting it out, my output, just to express myself instead of just keeping it all pent up. Sometimes, that's one thing that people really don't have. A lot of people really don't have that outlet, the way to just let what's bothering them out. So when I do it, I step in the booth, I forget everything.
Mm.
Like the moment I step in my producer's house, I forget everything. Like I don't even remember like what I was mad at. I just go in there and I just go. And I'm in there for about 2, 3 hours, and then I leave, and I just enjoy what I made, what I created. And,
Mm.
I'd be like, I just deal with the problems later. So that's really all it be like. It was therapeutic for me, and then it just started all being fun. And I told myself, you can ask my brother this, man. Like I told myself, I was like, man, I'll stop when somebody say stop. And here we are. Here
Mm.
we are.
Got you. So with making music, because I was introduced to you through SoundCloud and making singles and stuff like that. Like from that time period, what kept you motivated to keep making music at that time? Because that's a crucial part of making music. Like when you're just starting out, and just like you said, somebody could have said, "No, that shit whack," and that could have changed your perspective and like, yo, maybe I should be doing something else. What kept you motivated to keep doing, music?
Really, it was just the reverse. So it's just like, you might hear, you might do something and people might say, like, man, you need to stop. This ain't for you. Or you need to just chill. You need to quit this. I got the reverse of that. I got you need to make more. You need to keep doing this. You need to stay consistent with it. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do this. You need to do that. People started actually telling me, like, hey man, you need to, giving me pointers like project your voice, speak louder, speak freely, speak with confidence. Like you sound good. I got words of encouragement. And I guess it was just like when I felt that I had people supporting me, that really would like, that felt good. Instead of, people tearing you down all the time, you actually had people like that was lifting you up, like, man, this sounds good. To actually like be riding somewhere and somebody like shoot you a picture like, bro, like your song is nice, your song is fire, your mixtape is clean. Like that makes you feel good. People hitting you up like when you dropping some more music. Like that's a good feeling.
Mm.
And so, it fuels the fire within you, like, man, like, now, I gotta outdo myself to, keep them, in there, to keep them like, man, Reezy is nice, man. Like this is nice. This is better than his last joint. This is better than the last song he made. This is nice. So it goes to show you like being positive with somebody actually like means a lot. Instead of tearing people down, like, you lift them up. You never know what somebody made.
That's true. That's true. What? Well, I know this, but I want everybody else to know this. What makes your music stand out compared to what's out there now?
So the thing, like that, that's a tough question to ask. And I can openly admit that, like, the thing that I see, like, with my music is today's music doesn't make my mind wander. Like, I feel like it's straight to the point, and sometimes it can be a little lazy. Like, when I listen to music now, sometimes I can say, like, I really listen to it. The first thing I think of is, boy, that beat go crazy. Not the artist, not what the artist said. It's just, man, that beat crazy. So it's like I'm giving more respect to the producer, to the person that made the beat more than anything. So then it's just like, well, what did the artist do? So
Mm.
like people be asking me like, who's your influence? Like who you listen to, man? My top three influences, man. I listen to like Mo3, I listen to Pop Smoke, and my favorite artist is Lil Wayne. And so a lot of the songs that I make, I try to make like stuff that will have you like go back and like really like, look up or think about like, man, like what did he just say? That don't make sense. And then you Google it and then you just like, damn, he really said that. Cause that's how it was with me, man. Like I remember like when Wayne dropped like I'm gonna just say the Carter 3. Matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, I'm gonna say the Carter 4. When Wayne dropped the Carter 4 and to this day, man, I still look at it like this. Wayne said something, he said, something about I still got division like a line between two dots. I was today years old when I realized he was talking about a division sign.
Yeah.
Like, and then I sat there and I looked at it, I said, like a line between
Dude,
two dots.
guys.
The man is a genius. So it's
Just
just
like
like,
just like
yeah,
just like you said with we got real G's moving sound like lasagna. And I'm
like,
like,
like, like, who come like we gonna ball till we ball like tears. What? Oh, like you just be sitting there like, oh, like that's how I wanted my music to be. Like I wanted my music to be like, like it's a hidden message between it. And the more I started adapting to that style, the more people like started saying, like, man, like that's a good style to have.
mm-hmm,
That's why, like, I tell people, like, I have offers to do tracks that's based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with Louisiana artists. But it's nothing against them. It's just I can't rap that way.
mm.
I can't rap that way. And like I say, it's no disrespect to them. I just know my abilities. My abilities, I can't rap like that.
What you
So
mean,
it
like fast, or you mean like sounding like somebody else, or what you mean?
like when you listen to like, think about like the old Lil Boosie.
Mm-hmm.
Like he made like set it off. That right there, and if you listen to like NBA YoungBoy like back then, that right there is low key what a lot of Louisiana rappers are sounding like.
Mm. Okay.
And I can't rap like that. If you ever listen to any one of my tracks, if you ever listen to like my newest mixtape that just came out, I don't rap like that. And I can't rap like that because I feel like if I rap like that, I'm gonna get stuck in that way.
That's true. I hear a lot of rappers say that. A lot of
And,
rappers do say that.
and in a way, it's like you don't want to go backwards. You want to move forward. Like every day, like I'm thinking about how I can outdo myself.
Hmm.
So like I listen to my mixtape now and I think to myself, like, how can I outdo this? So when I ask people like, what's your favorite track on it? People tell me like, yeah, that's me or Hero or Chasing. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, how can I outdo this?
Yeah.
So I'm not like my thing is not to stay stagnant. And that's what I feel like a lot of artists do. They make a hit and they stay there.
Yeah. And I
And
think it's also because people get the likes and everything. They say, oh, I'm gonna stay in this lane right here.
yeah, so then it's just like, okay, you made something that shit that hit the billboards. Okay, we in there. But then I'm looking like, okay, what else you gonna make?
That's true.
That's how I'm looking at it. Like, what else you gonna make? Like, I've heard Jeezy make a lot of hits. I've heard Gucci make a lot of hits. I've heard Wayne make a lot of hits. But when you got like the one hit wonders, like I don't know, I can't remember buddy name that made Worth It. Then it's just like, what else you gonna make? How you gonna top Worth It? People make that one hit, they get made, and then you don't hear nothing else.
Mm.
And that's just how it is. Like, that's just how it is. So, like I said, like I'm trying to outdo myself. My biggest opponent is me. That's my biggest opponent.
So I'm gonna go to I really want to get into this music video, but I want to know pretty much once again, put a picture on Yeah, That's Me music video. How it was set up, how you had the idea or the director, how y'all got together, et cetera, et cetera.
So I met the dude behind Yeah, That's Me. His name Visual. I met him by my producer. My producer told me he was like, "Yeah, hey, I got a good guy for you." I said, "Okay." I hit him up. Then it was just about schedules connected. The moment I talked to him, I said, "You give me what you think, and we'll go from there." He gave me his idea, and I was like, "All right, let's go with it." Man, it was my first music video. I ain't gonna lie, man, I was a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. Just like, having the camera like directly on me, you got somebody in your face, like right there while you trying to like rap. It was a little like, it was a little like nerve wracking. But dude made it, comfortable. He coached me through, and it wound up being like real fun. When I made Yeah, That's Me, I tell anybody this. When I made Yeah, That's Me, that was really like a focal point for me. Yeah, That's Me was really just me transitioning to like a new style, like me like improving my flow, improving my style, improving the way I write. It was just me trying to better myself. I didn't have no ideas for it. When I let the videographer take the lead on it. I put my input in every now and then, but I let him take the lead. And sure enough, once he took the lead, I was like, yeah, this looked nice. The quality, the way I was moving and sounding, I was like, yeah, you did that. And it was just, to get my message across, and then you actually seeing me, that was a lot for me. I was like, man, I like this, dog. I like this.
Did you see yourself being in a music video when you first started, like putting songs on SoundCloud, or you was like, man, I'm gonna wait it out, put out a couple mixtapes, then put a music video, or you just said, I'm just gonna follow what my producer said. I trust him, so I'm gonna keep it moving.
I mean, yeah, like that was always like one of my like goals. Like I always did want to do a music video. If I didn't star in it, then at least make like a cameo appearance. Like that was always like a thing that I said like, man, I'm gonna make a song, then I'm gonna do a music video too. The only problem was I wanted to make a song that was worthy of being in a music video. Like when I listen to like my SoundCloud songs, I just be like, man, I came a long way. I really be like, man, I came a long way. Like when I listen to like my SoundCloud songs and then I listen to like something off my new mixtape, I just be like, man, like, boy, you can tell I just stepped foot in the booth, like, man. But it's like I said, it's that experience. And to actually like put it set in stone, to actually go through with it and say, like, hey, I'm gonna shoot a music video, to get the cameraman, to get the location, to go through the whole process and then to see it, that was worthwhile. At the end of the day, it's the fact that I did it.
Mm.
That's the main thing.
So before I get into the EP, tell me your process in making music. You already said that you'll be in the studio for 2 to 3 hours. A lot of people do not know that that takes time when you're making music. Like they might look at artists and they say artists might make like 10 songs a day. Can you can you tell me your process in making your music?
So really it's just like if I just like for some reason I ain't gonna lie to you, like I could be working on like 5, 6 songs at a time. That's one thing. Like I'm never just solely focused on one track. I'm always focused on like maybe like five, like I say, 5, 6 in my phone, in my notepad. Like I'm always working on something. And I hear a beat and I instantly start rapping to it. I instantly start writing to it. And now I'm at 7. So eventually I have to legit tell myself, like, I gotta stop. I gotta finish what I'm working on.
Mm,
And when I do features, I put the features ahead of my own tracks. I love doing features. Like I love doing them because I get to hear other people and they talents and their abilities. I treat features like a rap battle. Like
okay.
no, like whether you are a rapper or you a singer, I always ask the dude or the woman to send me their stuff. Like let me hear it. You ready for me to jump on it? They'll send it to me. I listen to it for like a week straight or 3, 4 days straight. Nothing but that song till some click. And when
Okay.
it click, then I just go. And even when I'm like, I'm just chilling, I'm steady writing. It was one song I did, bro. I wrote so much that I had to go back and delete stuff so that it would fit. It was that much stuff.
Mm.
So it's just like I just be going. And I just like I always want to make, I always want to create, I always want to do this, I always want to do that. Like if I had the ways and the means, there would probably be a new song with my name on it every day. And it's like it doesn't get tiring. That's the crazy part. Like it doesn't get tiring. Like I could just wake up in the morning and be like, I want to listen to something new. I want to make a new song. I want to put out another mixtape. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's just it like I said, it never gets tiring. You hear about some people how they be like, man, I'm gonna take a break. I don't want to take no break. I want to just keep going.
I feel it. I definitely feel that. Getting into your no intro EP. First of all, I guess it's self-explanatory, but I really want to put it out there so everybody knows the reasoning behind your EP. Why call it no intro?
So when you think of like an introduction, you think of like, somebody's like first appearance, you think about like somebody's like, okay, this is the introduction to this. This is your first time seeing it. My mixtape, I wanted to create first and foremost, I wanted to make something that was never used. Never used. You know how many times I didn't seen like sorry for the wait or I didn't seen crap God. You know how many times I seen that? I wanted to make something that was never heard before. And I
Mm,
went through like a couple names. And then my brother said outside one day, my brother said, you just need something that just basically saying you ain't got no intro. And I just ran with it. I researched. I was like, ain't nobody take call no intro.
mm,
And when I thought about it, he was like, oh, he was like, that's lit. He's like, well, so what's gonna be the meaning behind it? I said, the meaning is gonna be, I don't need no intro, dog. I don't need no intro. Like, I got so many songs out that you can go back and just see, what I made and the progression that came through it. I just came out smoking. Like when I did that feature for, like I did a feature for Analogical the Poet. Shout out Analogical the Poet.
That was one
I
of my
did
questions. Yep.
I did a feature for him. And Analogical say one of the songs, like on my verse, he said, I just came in, I just kicked the door open. And that's how I wanted to come. I wanted to come like, this is me, this is who I am. Like, if it ain't strong, it's weak. It's no in between. It's not normal. No, if it ain't strong, it's weak. That's all it is. And
No in
so
between. Okay.
it went like it's just like when I made no intro, I was just like, man, that's gonna be it right there. That's something that you can really say, like, man, remember when Reezy Baby dropped no intro? Remember when Reezy Baby dropped no intro 2? Remember when he dropped it no intro 3? That's something that's really gonna click in people's head, like, man, like that was clean.
So getting back on to Analogy the Poet, how did you guys meet? How did the feature came about? Uh, all that.
Man, so crazy thing when I first started doing music, and Logical popped up on my IG and like one of them like the promotion things.
Hmm.
And I clicked on it. And like most people when you start off doing music, you try to talk to like, artists that's been doing music. They don't give you the time of day.
That's very true.
And Logical actually gave me and Logical like talked to me, he low key coached me. And, he gave me some pointers on, how to make it and stuff like that. So me and him wound up chopping it up one day. And me and him been close ever since. He'll hit me up about some stuff. I hit him up about some stuff. He'll give me his input. I give him my input. And that's how we go from there. So it was a huge honor when he just dropped his album, No Love in the Hood. Like I said again, hey, shout out L Logical, man. No Love in the Hood. When he hit me up and he said, man, I want you on this tape. And I was like, "You sure about that?" I was like, "You want me?" He was like, "Yeah, I want you on the tape." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll do my best." I said, "When you and Buddy do what y'all do, send it over to me, and I'll start working on it." The moment he sent it to me, I started everything I was working on, and I just went straight to it. Like I went straight to it. Like it was fun. I liked the tempo. Um, I recorded my verse. I didn't like the way I recorded my verse. I went back and re-recorded my verse.
Mm.
I sent it to him and I was like, I hope he liked it. I hope he liked it. And sure enough, he was like, man, like you went crazy. And I was just like, you serious? That's one thing about me, man. Like I be feeling like sometimes like I'm my own worst critic. So when I release something or I let somebody hear something, I'm gonna be like, man, all that, man. But it's because I'm not cocky with it. I'm confident with it. I'm just not cocky with it. I don't go places and be like, I'm the biggest thing out there. I go there like, I know I'm not bad. I know I'm good. But then when you let somebody else hear your craft, then they just like, nah, you great.
Yeah, and especially if they're being honest and stuff like that. That's the most important thing. Um, but that's just you got to trust who you trust. Like you got your brother, and you got your producer. So you definitely got people in your corner. Going back into the EP on call, can you tell me how that song came about also?
So on call was a track. So the feature on there is Kenny Woo, my partner out of Atlanta, man. Me and Kenny been knowing each other for years. So if you want to know about On Call, you got to know like the backstory behind it. So me and Kenny been knowing each other. We used to stay in El Paso, Texas.
Mm,
Kenny was my dog, and I never thought me and Kenny would be this close. That was the crazy part. So when Kenny would always be chilling, we'd always be chilling in Kenny car. He'd be the main one rapping. He'd be the main one rapping. He'll be like spit something. And I'll be like, uh, top, flop, I go hard on a rock, something. And he'll just be like, we're gonna get you up there. I'll be like, I'm not good with this rapping stuff. So when I started rapping, you know, Kenny actually told me he was like, I'm gonna make a bet with you. If you lose, you gotta hop in the booth. I
Mm.
lost, and now you can see all the tracks that came with after I lost that bet. So if anything, I can say Kenny was like one of the many, you know, a main thing moving forward. So
Mm.
when I made On Call, I made the track, but I felt like somebody else needed to be on it. And I thought of him, and I was like, man, we need to do something together. I sent him the I sent him the beat. He sent me his verse in 48 hours. And we put it all together. And people, just like, y'all got good chemistry. Y'all need to keep going. Y'all need to keep doing this. And me and him was just like, man, we really sound good together. You know, and I feel like that's one thing, like, you hear people together, you be like, man, they do not mix. But you can tell, me and Ken, we got good chemistry. I love Ken's flow. I love Ken's style. I constantly, talk about him with that deep voice. Like that's how he sound. Like I be like, you need to put them cigarettes down, but and he probably gonna watch the video and hear me talking about him, but I don't care. Like that's like I call him. I be like, hey, Ken, what you doing? Man, I'm just out here chilling. I'm just about to go to work. What you doing? I like, are you Batman? You about to go rescue Gotham? Like,
That's messed up. Uh, Chasing. Tell me the backstory behind that.
so Chasing was a track where uh I guess I wanted to return to my Louisiana roots, but not fully return to them, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like when you hear the Chasing beat, when I made Chasing, to be honest with you, Chasing was completely freestyle. It was never written.
Oh, was
Never.
it?
It was never written at all.
Mm.
I freestyle Chasing from start to finish. Even when I made the chorus, the first time I heard the chorus, that was the first thing I thought of. I think I was mad. Something I was like, man, I'm not chasing no bro. Man, I ain't chasing no bitch. I don't chase no bro. I don't chase no bitch. And I just roll with it. And so I made the track. I sent it to my brother. My brother said, well, you sound like you're back home. And I was like, that's crazy. He was like, you sound like you're back home. You sound like you came home and you've been here for a minute. And I was like, man, that's crazy. I was just like, hey, like that seemed to be a lot of people's favorite track. I don't know why, but that feel like it's a lot of people's favorite. And I was just like, maybe it's just some people that say I'm not chasing nobody. It could be like a little anthem thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's an
When I'm
anthem. It's definitely an anthem. Like
That's why I was
you can
like,
use it every day. To be honest with you.
that's true. And that's what I wanted. That's like low key what I wanted to do. Like, don't ever settle yourself short. You ain't gotta go out here. Somebody just egging you on. You ain't gotta chase nobody. It's millions of fish out here in this sea. Millions. You ain't gotta chase nobody. Just like that, man.
Going on, Hero. You also have a feature on there, Frostbite. If I said his last name right, but yeah.
So Frostbite, me and him actually linked up recently, like today, matter of fact. Frostbite Slim, I met him through a mutual contact. Frostbite Slim, he's been doing music a lot longer than I have. Uh when I put when I did Hero, he was the first person I thought about. I listened to a couple of his tapes. He made a song called Moonwalker. And that's what initially told me, I was like, I need to put him on this. When he made Moonwalker, I seen just how lyrical he was. And like I guess in a sense you could say I wanted to feel um I guess challenged in a sense. I wanted to feel like, okay, he came with heat. He came with some balls. And I even tell him like, man, like when I hear, Hero, if I listen to it now, I like his verse. Sometimes I probably say his verse is better than my verse. Because the way he came on, he was really spitting. So when I hit him up, I said, hey man, I really want you on this. And I sent him the beat. He was like, I like this. He said, I get it back to you. He got it back to me in a week time. And when I heard it, I was like, man, I damn near want to go change my verse. It was that good. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna let it ride and I'm gonna see what happens. And come to find out, like I said, with Chasing, that's a lot of people's favorite song. So it's just like, man, like now I'm questioning, like, man, what y'all like, Slim part or y'all like my part? Like, who y'all like? Like, you can't stay like once I like the whole song. No, you either like one or two parts. Like, which one you like? You like pepperoni, you like sausage. Which one you want? Like, so, but Frostbite definitely a very skilled artist. He has more stuff he has coming out. He's very skilled, very lyrical. I actually learned a lot just from talking to him and learning his process on how he makes music.
And the last song is All the Time.
All the time was like, in a sense, um, a dedication to my parents for a
Mm.
lot of especially my mama. Especially like like you said, like you asked me earlier about Katrina. They turned the lights off, and how my mama stayed grinding. My mama stayed trying to do right for me. Stayed trying to get me. She stayed trying to get me on the right path, man. When I was young, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I did a lot of stuff. I ain't never do nothing like crazy or out the way. But I did stuff that most teenagers would do. That
Hmm.
most, your mama will be like, boy, like, what am I doing with you? Like, what am I gonna do with you? Like, I tried to, go to college. That didn't work. I tried to just find my own way. And that's the main thing I wanted to do. So when I made All the Time, that was the first person I thought of. I thought about my mom's. And that's why I put so much emphasis on the chorus. And to just be able to just make something that even she would say, this is nice. And that's one thing I can really say that broke that confidence barrier. When my parents heard my music, it wasn't nothing nobody could tell me at that point.
Mm. So how did she react to hearing certain songs? Because it's your mom, so she might be like, "Yeah, you shouldn't use that word," or whatever the case may be.
She just told me to like tone down, just told me to like tone down on the cursing.
Hmm.
And I told her like, okay, I'm gonna tone it down. I said, I'm gonna tone it down. She told me just not so much curse. Don't call women, B's and H's. Like I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put this. So like now, like when I make songs, like I try not to say certain words, and if I say some words, I'll be like, all right, I gotta take all that out. But I say I'm trying. But she really likes my, like my first song that I put on Apple Music, Pull Up. She really loves that song. She likes it more when I do R&B tracks. My pop likes it more when I do R&B tracks, and I just tell them like, I'm trying, I'm trying. It's hard, not to say, B's this, H is this, N word this. I say it's hard because sometimes it's been in your vocabulary for so long, you just like N word, please.
Hey, I say it every day, uh, but it is what it is. Going back to chasing, you said you freestyle that. How important is it for you to pretty much keep the writing aspect in, or keep the freestyle aspect in, or just writing your own lyrics? How important that is to you?
So out of the freestyle and the writing, I prefer to um write my own lyrics. I feel like one thing people did tell me, like when you listen to Chasing as opposed to like when you listen to like, yeah, that's me, is the lyrical standpoint. I'm so big on the lyrics that I feel like that's the main thing about me. Like when I make something creative, I feel like, that's me right there. If I say something and you're like, man, you're amazed by it, that's what I like. When I let people hear my music and their eyes go big, like, man, that man really said that. I like that. Like I made chasing. I made chasing, and it's catchy and it can be an anthem. But is that truly like me right there? I wanted to test my abilities when it came down to freestyling. I wanted to like really test myself. Like, can I freestyle? If somebody told me hop on the mic right now and bust a freestyle, could I do it? Could I make a R&B off the dome right now? Could I do it? I wanted to really test myself. I didn't really even think Chasing was gonna be, that good. But when we made it, I had to send it. I said, man, I called my brother. I said, man, listen to this. He said, man, I'm still listening to it. I said, what? I sent you that song like an hour ago. He said, I'm still listening to it. I said, okay, well, call me back. He said, man, this song is nice. This song is nice. He said, I can't believe you made something like this. I said, what? So it's just like, I guess I like the versatility that I can do.
Mm,
I can be lyrical, I can be catchy, or I could just be, just whatever. I can do so much. And I like to experiment with different things. I like to experiment with R&B, with rap, with slow rap, with fast rap, with slow R&B, with soul. I like to experiment with all of it because that's what I grew up on.
mm. So with that being said, what are pros and cons to that? Like, what are the pros and cons of, you know, of course, you already know the pros of writing your own songs, but can you go more into depth? Like, what are pros and cons to that?
So the pros and the cons is mainly like you gotta be writing more focused, lyrical, um, more in depth, like just a lot. The con to it is probably, I gotta play with the energy a little more. I gotta play with the swag a little more. I gotta just play with, a lot more, but at the same time, I'm explaining a lot to you. I just gotta pick up something else.
Mm,
Then you got the beat, you got the freestyle, swag, cadence, maybe a few bars. Like you got everything that you're looking for. But the con is you losing the wordplay. You might be losing the lyrical sense. You might be losing the thing, that makes you you. So you probably sounding more like for a club. You might be sounding more for a club than you are for like yeah, you might be sounding more for a club than you would for like, a mixtape or something like that.
okay. Going into depth, as far as your future that we're looking at, how do you see, like, not pretty much letting everything out the bag, but like, where do you see yourself in, like, let's say a year from now?
So in a year from now, like I definitely see, I definitely see 3 tapes coming out.
Mm,
Definitely see that. I definitely see more music videos coming out. I definitely see more features coming out. Um, the question is when. That's the question. But I definitely see it in the near future. I could tell you that maybe I see one in November. Maybe I see one in December.
mm,
Maybe I see one in January. It's just when. So main thing I get people be asking me is when you dropping some new music. And sometimes it feel like it's been a long time since I dropped no intro, but in actuality, I just dropped it in July.
mm-hmm. Yep.
I was just like, I woke up one morning, I was like, man, I gotta drop another tape. Man, I just dropped it in July. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I still want to drop another tape, so that's what I'm gonna do. So, if in all honesty, that's what I can say. More Reezy Baby definitely will be coming out soon. People they be thinking that I just be sitting on my butt, But that don't be the case at all. Like I definitely be writing. Definitely be in the studio. I definitely make sure that people that support me see me in the studio. And then when people see me in the studio, then they asking that question, well, when we get some new Reezy Baby, you gonna get something. Like definitely like when I post it, you're gonna see it, man, he got another tape coming out, or he got this coming out, he got this coming out. It's a work in progress.
Mm. So how do you combat all that? Like, 'cause that could be troubling for like a beginner artist. Like, for instance, a lot of people are looking at probably their favorite artist, and then they're looking at you, and then they might be putting out a quicker turnout as far as music go. How do you combat with that where you want to, kind of save some of your music, you know, and pretty much stagnate out? You say you're gonna put out three. How do you keep focused and not look into the next lane and say, damn, he released like two tapes in like 2 months. Damn, I need it. How do you combat that?
So if I may like do me a favor, like elaborate a little bit more for me.
Okay, so I'm gonna put out an artist's name. Let's say Young Thug before he got arrested. He might have been putting out tons of work, like tons of like music out. In a 2 month, let's say 5 month span, he might have put like three tapes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a fan that might say, oh, this Reezy Baby, I really like this. Okay, when are you gonna put out like the pressures of putting out more music? How do you combat that? Like meaning, how do you not pay attention to that and just focus on the quality compared to the quantity?
It's kind of hard to explain. I feel like I do that already.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think about how many tracks I put out. I just think about I want to make sure they all good. So like when I make a track, I listen to it. I listen to it over and over. So like I said, like I'm my own biggest critic. If I could listen to one of my own tracks and then I'm probably about to lay down, I'm like, man, that track go hard, and I gotta listen to that track again. Then it's just like it's good to go.
Hmm.
So it's just like I'm constantly like making tracks that I'm gonna just pull from in a certain order, in a certain concept, in a certain vibe way. That I'm gonna just be like, that's a tape right there. Put
Do
that
you,
to the side.
do you go with themes or you just like you said, you research stuff and then you say, all right, that's gonna be the title? Or do you think about just like, all right, I'm gonna go back to a point of my life and just say, all right, this is gonna be the tape. This is my subject matter.
So it's kind of like a little bit in between. Like sometimes like I'll think like I'll go with certain parts of my life, or I'll go with like something that has some meaning to it.
Hmm.
Uh, like I'm working on a collaboration tape with a producer named Chris Legend, and we've been working on a tape for a minute. So that's going to be one of the tapes that's coming out. It's called Kamikaze.
Mm.
Oh, when I asked Chris, like, what's the meaning behind the tape? And Chris said it's to focus on the bars that I be dropping. Kamikaze, I'm dropping bombs on a lot of the beats that he creates, on a lot of the tracks that he made. I'm dropping bars, I'm dropping fire that'll make you just be like, man, I gotta listen to some more of this stuff. And I understood that. I'm working on a tape right now that's coming. I'm not even one. I'm working on two tapes that's coming that I want to release sometime next year. Um, to keep my momentum going. I was surprised at how good No Intro did. Was really surprised by like you and like other people that would just tell me like, man, like it was a solid tape. But
Mm.
the main that I was looking for, people actually told me was that it made you want more. A lot of people would tell me, hey, 5 tracks wasn't enough. I got to the fifth track and I'm like, where the rest? This wasn't enough. That was a good feeling for me. I was like, yeah, because sometimes you'll listen to a tape and won't get past track 2. But the fact that people went through all 5 and was like, man, I want to listen to some more, that meant a lot.
Mm.
So it's just like my concept if I could say anything, man, I would say like as of right now, I have about 2 tapes worth of music.
Hmm.
But it's all about put them in the right order, making sure they fit, making sure that when you listen to one track, the next track complements it. Then the third track complements that track. Then the fourth track complements those last 2 tracks to the point where you go from vibe to vibe to vibe. Then you like, man, it's not just the same vibe. It's a whole bunch of other vibes, but they simultaneously synchronize.
Mm, I like that thinking. So what we're gonna do now is dig into your personal life. So,
Ah,
so as far as and I usually do that's local, but I'm gonna do something a little different. So when it comes to social media, tell me one thing you love about it, one thing you hate about
uh, social media. I like the connections. Like I like, the connections, being able to talk to folk that are like many miles away. But I hate the drama that it creates.
it. Yeah,
I like the connections, but I hate the negative connections, if that makes sense.
no, that makes perfect sense. Without a doubt. Tell us one thing. Well, pretty much tell us pretty much one thing you do as soon as you wake up in the morning.
As soon as I wake up, I go get some breakfast, and then I go sit in my truck and I listen to beats.
Okay, okay.
Then I work out, and while I'm working out, I listen to beats. And then I come back and I play PlayStation while I listen to beats.
So that'd be all day. It's just listen to beat.
It's just listening to beats, dog. It's just listening to beats. Like, because I feel like you gotta constantly keep your craft going. If you can't improve it, you're just gonna stay stagnant. And I ain't trying to stay stagnant. I constantly want to go because you never know. You might get that one person that asks you like, "Hey, I want you to feature on it," and that person might know somebody like Moneybag or Gotti. He might know somebody, and he gonna play this to. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like me personally, like any feature that I do, I ask somebody to get on, bro. Like I said, it's a battle. Like when you ask me to hop on your track, I'm trying to outdo you. I'm trying to outdo you and everybody that's on that thing.
Mm.
Like I say, when Analogical asked me to be on his track, respectfully, I wanted to outdo him and be sincere. In my own way, I wanted the first thing you say when you listen to that track was, "Who is Reezy Baby? That cat go hard." The song go hard though, but that
Hmm.
cat, baby, that man go hard. So it's like, yeah,
Tell me one thing from your childhood that you can say like made you just say, I'm glad that I did that because it made me into a better person.
I'm glad that I did that. Uh, I took chances. When I was growing up, I was like a shy kid. I didn't really like know how to talk to like girls and stuff like that. But I could say like it was one instance where I just said, man, like, what's the worst a girl could tell you? No. No. Ain't worse things than that, but it's like when you growing up, you're like, man, work no would like basically like crush your confidence, crush your spirit. And I talked to this one little shorty and she told me no, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just glad I said it. That's all. I'm just glad I said it. So now as I done got older, and then it's just like, how you doing, mama? Oh hell no. Oh, that cool. Your loss. Your loss.
Um, the funniest thing that happened in the last 24 hours.
Funniest thing that happened. We was drinking last night, and one of my partners pissed on himself.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah, I was just like going outside, man. I was like trying to get some ice because I was about to pour my drink. They was outside drinking, and like as I go outside, all I see is my partner just standing there with his jeans on, and it's like dripping. I'm like, what? I said, did you really piss yourself? And he was like, we're not gonna talk about this. I'm like, bro, you really pissed yourself up.
What was y'all drinking, man?
And bro, I don't. They be on that tequila, dog. I don't mess with tequila, bro. Like I mess with Crown, I mess with Head, I mess with anything brown. They was on that tequila, so I guess I was like, man, you just can't hold that tequila, dog. Like I don't know what it is, bro. I just like really was just like, you really pissed yourself. He's like, man, I was like, hey, bro. I said, man, you can hit up my room if you need to fix yourself, bro. It's just
Man, ain't no
that's every,
fixing yourself after you pissed on yourself. Time to go home. Fuck that
at,
shit.
the, at the end of the day, dog. That's his pride. I ain't have to worry about. I like, dog. That's your pride. Like my pride, good. My pride is like, I can't believe I just watched you piss yourself. So,
What about your dream feature? Who would you love to feature? Like your top five people that you would love to be featured, or do a joint album with?
uh, most likely, definitely, another track with Analogical. Um, Definitely another track with Frostbite Slim. I think that would be amazing. People been telling me they want to see more of me and Kenny Wu. It's hard, man. Like major artist wise, I could give you three names, man. I can give you three names off back.
All right.
Ma- Major artists, obviously Wayne. The second one would be Two Chains, and the third one would probably be Moneybagg Yo.
Well, remember I
Pro-
said y'all both sounded like me, like as far
Bro,
as y'all
bro,
voice
you
wise, yeah.
said that, bro. A lot of people be like, "Bro, you sound just like Moneybagg." I'm like, I don't want to sound like Moneybagg. Like when I listen to Moneybagg, like Moneybagg just dropped a tape, man. I love this song he made. It's called Ocean Spray, and I'm just like, man, like people really think I sound like Moneybagg. Like I be rapping that song, I just be like, I'm just the Ocean Spray, and I'm like, I do not sound nothing like this dude.
It's just I guess it's your tone and your voice. I guess that's what I'm thinking. That's what I think, pretty much. Let me put it that way. All right. So wrapping up, tell everybody where they can find you, uh, social media, how people can connect with you, also with just doing features and just connecting with you. Period.
If you need me, man, I'm just on IG, but I'm trying to get the Facebook up and rolling. Instagram at Real Reese Foe. Like I said, we're trying to get the Facebook back rolling. And if you find the IG, you definitely will find everything else. I got my email on there. I got my number on there. If you need anything from me, I'm about to put my brother's information out. Because my brother's low key like my manager. So definitely if people want to connect with me, if people want to holler at me, man, like I'm definitely down. Like I give everybody a shot because people gave me a shot when they didn't have to. People hit me up and be like, "Hey, can you listen to this?" I'll listen to it. If it's nice, it's nice. If it's boo boo, it's boo boo. But it's just like I'm not just gonna tear you down. I'm just gonna tell you like, hey, it ain't my cup of tea, but I can tell you what will make it my cup of tea, and then it go from there if you want to utilize that. So, you know, I'm all for like helping folk. I'm all for like encouraging folk, being there for folk, man. Like I say, I feel like folk just need to help each other. Everybody just against each other. But people need to find me, man. Like I say, my IG real Reese folk. Hit me up. We can talk on the side. Ain't nobody gonna know our business.
And that is a wrap for podcast 117. I'm your host, Sammy Loco, and we're out.
Hey.